But like, we gonna get into the real when y'all come up over here, man. So put your big boy pants on when you come over here, folks. For real. Put your big boy pants on and we gonna get it to it straight like that, folks. But definitely hit that like button for the boy if you here for a good time, not a long time. You ain't here to stay. Hit that like
Christ
button.
over your life, man. Quick video, man. It's about the love of money. You know, and I see why God says what he says about money. And obviously, once you start to get a little bit of spiritual understanding, you know, a little spiritual growth, you know, when you start to, you know, grow spiritually, you know, you start to truthfully understand and be able to look back on certain situations in your life and be like, man, you can see how money or women, you could just see how certain things that, not that God wants us to refrain from women, but God wants us to refrain from, you know, laying down with women before marriage. And so you can see how some of those things affect us. It affects you mentally, how it affects you going forward. And, you know, and sometimes you can just look back and you could be able to pull out a testimony. And so this pretty much is a testimony about, man, what I did for some money, bro. I believe at this time I was 16. I was dating a girl, 21 years old, and I ain't had no money. I ain't had no job. I even dropped out of school for this, for her and whatnot. And yeah, it's just a crazy, chaotic situation, bro. But one of my brothers, you know, he's from the block, and he not my brother. He like one of the big guys, and he was dating one of the. I don't know what I call Raven them, but at the end of the day, I was adopted by their mom. But I never really called nobody sisters outside of my sisters. I kept my sisters, because my family, my sisters and my brothers, she adopted all of them and whatnot. And then, but she also had her own kids. They were just grown. You know, we were kind of like growing up kids, becoming into teenagers. My sisters, they're older than me as well. But so yeah, but that family that I was adopted into, one of the older women that was in that family, who I kind of looked at as a sister but never called her a sister, she dated one of the older guys from the block. And he was one of the guys from the block you did not want to play with. And I know JoJo because he dating Raven. And so I get to talk to JoJo every day, you feel me? I'm around JoJo every day. JoJo wouldn't, man, I done seen this man really, 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 really get down on some people, like to a point where I'm like, man, I would hate to be your friend. Cause he was, you feel me, one of them type of dudes where it's like, if, you know, the liquor was, you know, and I ain't trying to tell too much of folks' business, but y'all know how people be off the lick. But he one of them ones to where it's, you know, certain people, they be angry, but he one of them, you don't want to see him off that. Like, it's not gonna end well. You feel me? And so, yeah, man, I'm gonna probably finish the rest of this story, you know, when I get in the crib, because I don't want no outside noise to be affecting it. So yeah, I'm gonna finish it when I get in the crib. So yeah, man, anyways, back to the story, man. So it was a day, man, and I was hurting, bro. I had, obviously, like I said, I think this was during the time I wasn't dropped out, but this was my freshman year. I wasn't dropped out, so I was 16. Yeah, I know I was like kind of old for a freshman, but I was maybe 15, 16 or whatnot. It don't matter on my 15, 16. And so it was one of them days, I ain't have a phone, and I ain't had no phone, I ain't had no much of nothing. Like I was telling y'all, like before I ended up dropping out, what led me to dropping out was solely because, like, I went to Harlem, and Harlem was a school that you ain't wear a uniform. And so freshman year was cool. I had clothes, I had enough. But then, all right, it's sophomore year. You know you can't come back in Chicago sophomore year or anywhere on a block, schools, wherever you are. You ain't going to be able to come back wearing the same exact thing from last year, converting over to this year. So I had a lot of, just like trouble with that, man. I wanted to be called dirty because I had been through that already previously in my life, man. And this is why I understand the war. I understand the battle, man, when we lack, but when we covet. So I was coveting what everybody else had. And this is why God tells us, do not covet, because coveting is going to lead, it is a sin, but it leads to more sins, way more sins, robbing, and all of those different things, beating people up to take. But y'all get what I'm saying? But anyways, man, so it was a day where bro was just flexing his money. He was overly flexing it. He was drunk, and he was just overly flexing his money. He steady doing all this. And then, you know who it was that planted a little thought on my heart. Man, look at all that money he got. So he just talking to me, man, look at all that money he got and he drunk. I'm in my head like, man. But like, I'm like, it's JoJo though. Are you stupid enough to actually try to track JoJo? Like, and if y'all knew him, y'all will know why I'm looking and talking like this. Like, he wasn't nobody to be played with, bro. JoJo, he cool, loving when you love him, but on his bad side, ain't nobody to be played with, bro. But you know, me being a kid, you know, my eyes, and you know that feeling, that covetous feeling, that feeling to want to take something, and then Satan was steady trying to. Like, he's telling me on my, because it wasn't me, but, you know, he started playing my, like, man, look, that's why he flexing the money. He flexing the money. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. So I'm in my head, I'm talking back to him like, man, you right. That's how you know you communicate with other, you know, other entities, because you actually having a, you actually communicate. You will say something, you will hear something. We be looking at, ain't nobody there, man, who you talking to? So I had to think about some of those things for myself. But anyways, man, so I'm thinking certain things about, like, man, how would I be able to do it and get away with it? Because I got understanding. But, like, it's kind of like my understanding went all out the window when I saw the money and I saw him intoxicated to a point where maybe he wouldn't know if I was the one that took it, or maybe he thought that he'd lose it. You know, this is just what Satan is planting on my heart for me to think about, man, pondering on it. But again, man, what I was lacking, I'm like, I could use that money right now. I could use that money badly. All right, so it happened. He fall asleep. He's sleeping. I'm sitting there looking at him, watching him. And I'm just sitting there looking like, I'm like, man, how I'm going to get this? I know that the money was in the wallet in the back pocket. But I'm just, the story is just to show y'all, man, hey, man, when you down bad and you confident and you, you know, that money, boy, root of evil for real, because you will do wicked things to people you love to get it. Like, I love bro, and this is a wicked thing, and it was very unsafe. But anyway, I ended up getting the money. I ended up doing that. So boom, the day go past. He wake up the night go past. He wakes up that next day, and my sister had a boyfriend there, and that was the night that I had got this little trash tattoo on my arm. Trash basketball tattoo by the dude who was like one of the messages that my real sister was she was talking to him, and then he kind of gave me the trash tattoo. And so JoJo automatically looked toward him like, that nigga must have did it because he know I ain't do it because I know him. Like, nah, ain't no way he's stupid. But him, I don't know him. And so he's about to take this dude's life. And I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I'll be 100% honest with y'all. During that time, bro, nothing I was gonna do to make him stop taking his life, because it was easier for me to let him take his life than for it to be me. And looking back at it, man, yeah, I wasn't always a good person, man. That money, this stuff in this world, it'll change you. This stuff in this world, man, it'll have you walking away from that love that's truly in your heart. That's why God said, every man's heart from youth desperately seeks to be evil. How great is that evil? That evil becomes greater when we don't put a stop to it. That evil becomes greater when we continuously go around people who ain't trying to put a stop to it. That evil keeps growing when we don't try to grow in love and truth in the Bible that everybody is trying to refrain from, man. I see a lot of other people going to different religions, but they still living the same life. That's because in those religions, there is no change of life. Or, you feel me? And I know there's going to be some that say if you actually keep up with it, because they did take a lot of the Bible. But yeah, you might live a good life, but you're not saved by great works. We're saved by grace, lest any man boast. And so if you don't have grace from Christ, then you won't be making it. And I hate to tell y'all that. I hate to make y'all feel like that. But anyway, man, back to the story. So it get around to dude like JoJo. I think that he's got a gun. You know, he basically, that dude, because this is the block, bro. You could play them type of game. And so they saying that he crying. It wasn't me, he crying. So they knew who all it could be. They knew it couldn't be nobody else but him or me. And so it got around to me. And so he kind of basically knew that it was me. And man, God was in my life so heavily, bro. Loving me so much, always just doing things to show me, allowing me to get myself into trouble, but getting me out just so that I do what I'm doing this day, because I knew it was by his grace. But anyways, man, it was my freshman year in Harlem, it was this It was they chose randomly. They chose a group of people randomly to do it was, I forget what it was. I forgot why they even chose me. But I used to always get chosen for them. Man, God was always choosing me here. Soften the heart of somebody. But anyways, because I ended up leaving Harlan right after this, so I know that I was only in this little group for this moment. And actually, this was my sophomore year, right before I dropped out. Because I dropped out right after this. Okay, so it was sophomore year, it wasn't freshman year. And so, anyways, I was in this little group thing, and it was like this lady who she was like she was a famous person, and you know how these certain people would come and start groups with kids who needed. Oh, I think it was for the people who were poor, because I was on the list, and I used to get free bus cards, and so I think that they chose like people who were poor, and out of those people who were poor, they chose a selective few to become a part of this group. And it was like outside of the school. And so really he was texting my phone, while I was at this group one particular day, like, man, if I don't get my money, basically telling me what he gonna do to me and whatnot. So I'm scared to come to the block. I'm scared to go back home. I'm a kid. Like, I ain't had nothing on me, so I had to get back to the crib to even, you feel me? But then I'm like, man, is Raven them gonna let him do something to me? And I had so many different thoughts, but I know the lady who adopted me, that I call my granny, she wasn't alive no more. So I'm like, man, I ain't really even got no protection. And I know I was wrong. And I know he crazy. Even looking back, telling this story, the pride of the flesh, it just hates to feel like somebody can get the power and to do something to you. And you feel me? That's why people be like, man, what you gonna do to me that I can't do back? The flesh is so weak. The flesh always wants to fight back. Just even telling this story, I just feel like less of a man, but you more of a man when you can deny what the flesh wants you to do. The flesh wants you to cry like a female off of what you feel, off of what you hear, off of what you see. That's emotional. We call it to run by logic. And so I'm just hoping this story can help somebody, just see that this money, this covenant, it'll have you think about the things that you might have done. Think about the things that you did that you normally wouldn't do, that you might have stole from somebody, or you might have, you feel me, did something where, man, if you had, you wouldn't. But sometimes you gotta go through to get through. But yeah, man, so I'm a little bit more of the story, bro. So I was so scared. I told the people there, and I'm like, man, I kind of got into a bad situation. And because they saw it on my face, and I kind of was like scared. That's my life. And they like, man, what's good? You good, Jamal? What the bam? But then I kind of like told them, and I kind of admitted. At first, I think I lied, and then dude was like, man, I'll help you, but as long as you tell me the truth. You feel me? Like, did you take the money? And it was only like, I think $150, like $150. It was like $150, but niggas in the hood, man, $150 a lot. And so, it was deep, man. But they ended up paying him back, and then you feel me? But he still was kind of mad, nigga. They paid him back. I remember me, Deshaun, and Cashawn, and I know Deshaun, if he hear this, he gonna remember. Because we was standing in front of Marcus' crib. Deshaun, if you ever watch the video, I know we standing in front of Marcus' crib. And then we seen JoJo from at the corner. Like the corner, like when you first coming to the second park, from this little parking lot. Man, look, y'all don't know the structure of the block like that. Some of y'all do. But he first came into the park. And then me and Deshaun and all of us right there, look at this nigga, JoJo. Mind you, he like 230. JoJo like 230, 6'2". He ain't no small dude. This nigga get to running so fast towards us. Come here, little nigga. And because his voice is deep like that, like he started running towards us. Nigga, we ran in my crib, boy, what? And did we stay in there? No, I think we was scared to go out the front door, and JoJo was at the back. And then my was so scared. She like, y'all gotta go. She kind of kick us out, but she don't want that to be in her crib. You know how people is, man. She don't bring it to mine. So we hit out the front door. We get up out of there, man. And yeah, it's just a crazy situation. And I deeply regretted it. I regretted it because, man, I love JoJo. Like, I regretted it because I'm like, man, I probably could have asked, bro, for a little help and whatnot, not knowing if he would have gave it to me or not, but I could have asked, you feel me? Even if he would have told me no, it would have been better for that than it just put a damper in our relationship. You feel me? I ended up talking to bro, because, like, folks crazy. He ended up telling me, like, man, like one day he was drunk, and it was like moments after that, like I still feel bad about it to this day, because that's not the type of person I am. It was the only person that I ever stole from, other than like my grandma taking like a few bucks from that. And like, but you know, y'all took something from y'all grandma, so don't be trying to make it seem like I'm the only one and whatnot. But like friend wise, I never stole from any of my friends. I'd rather go without than steal, because it just wasn't me, you know. And but that kind of put a damper, man, in me. You know, even to today, I just look back at myself and I'm like, bro, you stole from somebody that you loved, that loved you. And yeah, man. So even in that, I learned a good lesson, a valuable lesson. I would never steal from nobody that I loved and that loved me, because I cared about the relationship more than the money. The money is gonna be here and then gone, and then you got a whole relationship that's way more fruitful than that money. You feel me? Like that was my big bro. But man, I'm still today even sorry. Like I still feel a great remorse. Like, cause that's just who I am, bro. But man, value Christ over your life. Don't let this money get between you and love. Don't let the things that you see get between you and love. We got to be content with what we got. If you a shorty out there, hopefully that this story, you know, helped you out in some kind of way, man. Because my life was spared by God, but not everybody's life gets spared. And so we gotta, you know, you feel me? We gotta operate smart. We gotta move with logic, and we gotta move with love, man. Because love covers a multitude of sin. And if I operated in love in that time, I wouldn't have did what I did. Value Christ over your life, man. Y'all stay prayed up out here. The enemy is at work overtime, triple time. So we must work. We must work.